Now we're going to help you understand how to navigate your loan officer dashboard. You'll just type in your link that you have when you first sign up for Griff and enter your username and your password and click on Log On. And here's your Griff dashboard. On the left-hand side, you'll see some navigation points here: home page, calculations that have been run, referrals, your profile, your revenue settings, and your landing page. On your home section here, that's where you see the more recent calculations. If you click on this, it'll just take you to your landing page. Going back to the dashboard now. And if there's any notifications coming in from the administrator, they'll show up right here. You'll spend most of your time looking at previous calculations. Let's spend a little bit of time here where there's no lead data. That's when the prospect went through the reverse mortgage scenario builder and chose not to leave their contact information. If they did leave the contact information, it's showing up here. A red X means that we sent them an email asking them to verify we have the correct email address, and they did not respond. A green check mark means they did respond. If they gave you their contact info, then we're going to have this information right here, the city and state. You'll notice here there's a blank. That's because this one came in with the quick calculator, the one that sits on your smartphone or on your laptop, where we just have 4 data points that come in. So with those 4 data points, we don't really know what their city and state is. If it came in through the web, that means it's the full-blown data entry page, and we will get their full address and contact information should they choose to. You'll see here is a referral. This referral came in from one of the referral partners. And of course here you'll see the date and the time. So you might have somebody who says, yeah, I was on your site and I ran some numbers. I wanted to think about it for a while. I think it was back on October the 2nd, early afternoon. And you'll say, oh yeah, sure, I see what you're talking about. And click on that and you'll get the little bit of information that was provided. So you can kind of refresh this with a new calculation. Going back to the dashboard now where we were. That's what you get out of the calculations. In terms of referrals, you have referral partners, which are usually your financial planners and CPAs and enrolled agents and such. And their names are listed right here with their email addresses. We'll give you how many times they've used your system to calculate something, how many they've submitted to you, and when that has happened. Each one has their own unique link. So Moni won't be mixed up with Amy, who won't be mixed up with James. They're all individual ones. So each one of them gets this particular link, the unique one, that they'll be able to use to run the calculations. When you want to invite a loan officer, invite somebody to be your referral partner and send business to you, just click right here, put in their name, their email address. It'll self-generate the unique link. Click on confirm, and they'll get the email. They'll be able to then use that unique URL, save it up above as one of their favorites, and with that, they will then basically start here and run through and create scenarios for you. And when they've created one, you'll know that it came in from that referral partner because it'll show up here. What about your profile? So here's where you, when you first started up, put it your first name, your last name, your NMLS number, your title, and your phone number. And here's your unique ID, which is important for you for your smartphone app that you'll have on your smartphone, of course, or for your laptop. Company information. You enter your information here. If you want to edit that information, click on the pencil, of course, to upload a logo for yourself. Employer's NMLS, zip code, and so on. And settings. Here's where you're putting in your states. So for this particular individual, this means that the company is licensed in all of these states. So if somebody were to try and run a calculation and the loan officer is not in that state, the loan officer can refer them to a corporate loan officer that is licensed there. If you're working for a broker or a lender and they have a different feeling about this, then you can just list your own individual states where you're personally licensed. So that's really going to be driven by your broker or corporate decision makers. If you and your company are a member of NRMLA, you click here to enable the NRMLA logo. And if you're a CRMP, a designation awarded by NRMLA, a certified reverse mortgage professional, you'll enable that there. Going down to revenue settings, this will be a little bit unusual for you. And a lot of times you'll get this when we first set you up as a loan officer. But here you've got different revenue settings that you'd like to earn based on the utilization percentage. Another big driver on this will be the geographic location you're in. For example, if you're in Southern California, the coastal area of Orange County and San Diego and such, the home values will be quite high, which means your origination fee will be rather high, probably almost always in the $6,000 gross revenue. And in addition to that, you'll earn something on the back end. Add the two together and you have gross revenue for the company. From that, you'll subtract whatever the processing or underwriting or fulfillment fee is. In this case, it's $9.95. And the loan officer here has a split of 60-40. 60 to the loan officer, 40 to the corporate. So based on all of this, you might say to yourself, okay, so if I have a borrower who's free and clear, and we have a $6,000 origination fee, and not much else, then we take $9.95 away from $6,000, that leaves about $5,000. And at a 60-40 split, $3,500 would come to the loan officer and $1,500 would go to the corporate. And that would get you to your $5,000. And if you're putting in here $2,500, well, that's a little bit below that. And that might work if you have some homes that are more in the $350,000 range and not the $800,000 range. So you'll decide what makes sense for you. Generally speaking, you start kind of low and work your way up. You'll notice that the 90 to 100% utilization, this number is a little bit lower. And that's because that includes the short to close files, the ones that are 100% utilized. And you might have a borrower with a $500,000 home that's short to close. And if you put in too much here, then that one won't qualify. So that's why this one's a little bit lower than some of the others. Now we're going to look at the fallback. The fallback means that GRIF tries to find the best combination of margin and fees so that you get the revenue you're looking for and your applicant gets the lowest combination of margin and fees. If it won't work, if you just can't quite get there, but you don't want to say no to somebody necessarily, if you can make at least $2,000 on the file, that's what you put in here. And maybe for you it's $3,000 or $1,500, whatever your number is. But here it's $2,000. So GRIF will say, well, it didn't work here, but if we can run it at a margin of 1.75 and generate $2,000 to the loan officer, we will still give results. When it comes to fixed rates, they're really not competitive right now. So I kind of default to 5%, and that's really not very realistic that you'll make 500 bips on a fixed rate loan. So it's probably never going to show up here. You can basically ignore this if it's a corporation that's using GRIF that has referral fees that are paid in either flat fee or basis points to other branches. That's where this would be showing up here. How do you change this? Just click on the pencil, put in your changes, and click Save. Same thing with over here. If it's not a 60-40 split, it's a 50-50. You put in that there. If the underwrite fulfillment fee is different than $9.95, you put it in there. And here's where you change your fallback margin and your fallback comp. And click back on Save here. And the last one is your landing page. So you've seen this landing page. And if you don't like the verbiage here, you can change that verbiage in your dashboard. So you just type in here, type in something like that, and you'll not use the default verbiage, you'll use your own. Make it bold, make it bigger, things like that. And once you've got it set up, you can preview your landing page to make sure it has the way you want it. What doesn't really change is your About screen over here. And that's just a quick definition of what is a reverse mortgage, how can it help you, a few FAQs, and loan officer contact information. So that's a quick navigation of the loan officer dashboard.